Live.
Hello, everyone. This is Adeel Pirzada, your host from Adeel Pirzada podcast. Today, it's Friday, and we got, as usual, our exciting podcast. Today is going to be another special podcast. Today, I have, as usual, Kevin Padillo with me. How are you doing, Kevin?
Hey, sleepy, but I'm here, and a man's had to do what a man's have to do.
That's right.
Glad to be here, guys.
Yeah, there is no excuse on that. This is a continuation of our podcast. This is about construction, all about construction. That's what we're discussing, and some real estate as it's linked to construction. So we have covered a lot in our podcast, and then we discussed different topics about construction, commercial, residential, industrial, land subdivision, and things like that. So today we're going to go take a little bit dive into how the construction is done. So there's different types and categories. We kind of discussed that. But if you were on a project as a construction manager, project manager, how would you look at it? So today I think Kevin got questions lined up for that.
Yes. So, today we're talking about project management. And this is going to be helpful for me because I'm also learning about project management as well. This man here, he's super experienced and I learn a lot. So if you're a project manager, young, junior, project coordinator, and you want to learn more, this podcast episode is just for you, especially as part of the week 7 of construction series. We're going to dive in.
Yeah.
So before we get started, this podcast is hosted by the Pircon group. We are commercial construction experts. We do general contracting, design, build, commercial permitting, drawings, and we can manage your whole project A to Z and help you.
Yeah, 100%. We do all types of construction. We specialize and we're expert on commercial because that's where you really need the expert help and the opinion. We also do a lot of residential construction, but mostly new build up, ground up. And if it's a big enough project to take on where we can actually, you can get the value from Pircon that you should be getting as an owner from a construction company. So about project management. So construction is actually all about management. That's a really big part of construction. It's how you manage the project. You have to start in advance before you do anything on the project, on the grounds. All the homework needs to be done on the paper. And yes, things don't always go as you plan it on the paper, especially when it comes to design, when it comes to writing down your layout. It doesn't go 100% what you plan, but you do need that paper because without that, you won't have 100% because you can't even get it 100% with the plans, but you might not even get 50% or 30% of what you really should be getting. So it's very important to have everything on the paper, which is your drawings, your plans, and that's hence the reason we have building permit and development permit departments in each city, because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to look at the plans and see what is going to happen and if they can approve it or not. And during the project, you may have some changes. You may have revised drawings and revised plans and timelines, and that's okay. That happens on every project, but it all needs to be lined up on a piece of paper. So it's very important for construction.
Yeah. Now, here's one of the first questions that came to my mind here is what should be the first important things a new project manager should know and do? The first things.
So I always say it, like the very first thing is that, do you even like it? That's what you need to know. So don't do it if you don't like it. I am not, I'm not like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to live your life, pay your bills. But it doesn't really serve the real purpose of your life if you're doing something and you don't even like it. especially if you're working it as a full-time job and you're going to spend a lot of time, 8 to 10 hours a day. And even anything less than that, it's not really worth it. So you really got to do it for your passion to begin with. Then it becomes easy to learn, and then it becomes easy to implement as well.
Project management for sure is all about leadership. And if you personally don't like leading people or being in charge or having authority, it's not the one for you. But if you thrive in achieving a vision, like a project owner's goal, and you want to create it, and you want to lead people towards each step, project management is the thing for you.
Yeah, 100%. It requires a lot of learning, patience, and obviously you'll learn all that over time, doing projects and being involved. So if you were doing this as a professional, as your job as a project manager, I would say yes, the number one thing is that you gotta love it. Once you love it, then you're willing to learn and actually grow on that. So the second thing I would say you require is actually knowledge about the project. It's very important. So you need to know what is actually being done, right? So there's different types of project managers in every industry. Like every industry needs a project manager. Even if it's like I don't know.
Like tech.
Like every
services.
company have project managers or project controllers, or there may be a different name, but they're doing the same job.
There's projects everywhere, actually.
There is a management that's required. Now, with construction, it becomes the key, and that's why the term is so much attached to construction of a project manager, because it is the one that you need. You cannot complete a construction project without a right project management. So whether it's the, you actually have a real company doing the work and they may have a project manager assigned, or you're doing something your own, like a small construction, and you're doing something in your backyard, you still need some sort of management in order to carry on that project. So talking about that, knowledge of the project. So you need to know what you're doing. If you don't have every single thing that you need to know, that's fine, but you need to at least try to learn that what is the project is about. What are the pieces in the project that makes the project? So let's say if it's a construction project, let's say if it's your basement and you're doing a renovation in there, so you need to know what exactly you're going to do. Right? Like, do you need flooring in there? Do you need ceiling in there? If there's walls, what, the paint. So what are each line item, the components that goes in? You need a full overview of that. So you can call it a scope of work. So you need to get yourself understanding of the scope of work. You need to get yourself familiarized what the scope of work is for that project.
Right. Well, no, like before we get into that word, because some people may not know what scopes of work are. Scope of work is basically the things that need to be done. What needs to be done? What kind of work needs to get done? For the project.
A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the things you need. Mainly, it's focused on one item at a time. Or if a one item requires several pieces, then it may include that. So one line item will have that piece. So let's say if you're replacing a door, there are different components of the door. There's the door itself, then it needs painted. It has trim. It has door jamb. It has got hinges, door locks, handles, so it has different things. So on a smaller project, you would look at it as a one line item, which will be one scope of work, and that would be, replace a door or install a new door. And that should include everything that requires for a door in a way. That's how it's kind of proposed on the contract. So that would be one line item. That would be one scope of work.
You know what's really cool about what I've been learning about working with Adeel here? He is someone that knows every step and what is needed in every step of the job or the project. And like, for example, I think it was we were looking at a project and we were talking about, okay, where are we going to put the garbage and who's going to pick it up and who's going to move it? And should you have a key for the building? Or there was a project that we were doing that Adeel just knew every step. Like he like knew what was needed then, and it was like 10 steps ahead. So it's like Adeel knows chess, but project management chess in a way. So that's so cool. It's really cool what I learned from him.
Oh, thanks, Kevin. I think over time, because you do it so much over and over again, you have to learn. Like, there's no option.
Yeah.
It would bother you if you didn't know. So yeah. So and you have to think, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. A good project manager always think 10 steps ahead of the project. So not what's happening today or what will happen tomorrow. What is going to happen after 10 days, 20, 30, 40 days.
Right.
And you actually have to, I think it would be a key if you already have that. And this is maybe a skill you can develop over time, is to be able to visualize. You have to visualize the project as it's done. So when you're standing in that space, you have to look at it like it's done.
Oh.
It's maybe hard to do it, but that's how I don't know. I've been like that, so it was quite easy for me in a way. So you have to visualize it and then see the key things. Do
you reverse engineer from there?
Pretty much, right? Yeah, pretty much. You have to think of things. Okay, this is the wall. What's in front of the wall? Is it okay if we put this here, put that there? So you have to kind of visualize this. And obviously, you're not going to get every single piece. It depends on how much time you got. There are things that we do at Pircon. We do it differently. We spend some extra time doing those things, and I'll tell you what that is. So we're not really, not every single member of the team is able to visualize it and be able to see it clearly. And then if even you do that, you still have some steps missing. But what we do is something different. I don't think many companies out there do that. Is we actually put a floor layout. So especially for the complex projects where it's a small area, and we have to work out, and these commercial projects, the thing is, like, everything has to be to the perfection, because you only got so much area of the place that you're leasing or purchasing, and you're paying for that square footage. So you have to utilize every single square foot of that area to be used for something. So let's say if we're building a restaurant, then the equipment size, everything needs to be, we have to take note of every single thing that is being completed. So that includes your equipment, your sinks, faucets. So where they're going to go exactly, where they're going to sit. If you have a faucet, is it a wall-mounted faucet? Is there enough room above the sink? So you have to think all of those things kind of ahead of time. You have to think if your cooler is, 52 inches wide, so there's enough room for that, so you're not too short, and also you're not too big, because if areas are left and there are big gaps, that's an issue, right? So you're inviting, especially in a place like a restaurant, or health hygiene place, you need it really clean. You cannot leave gaps and openings and have small areas. So, your cooler is 52 inches or 48 inches, and then you end up getting something that's smaller, and you get 30 inches 3 inches or 5 inches left open as a gap.
Yeah.
That's a hazard. That's not allowed by the health services. They won't pass that in many cases, right? Because it's just, you're making a home for all these, for mice and everything, any type of issue, like you would have food falling there. You could have many things, like many issues, right? You could have cockroaches living there. And over time, things get buried. You're going to put boxes in front of it, and this is going to happen, that's going to happen. So over time, those places get buried and they get behind. And that's that's a nice stay haven for a lot of these
rodents.
Yeah, pests. Rodents and pests. So that's a big issue. And that's where the project management comes in, right? Obviously with the design, it will be determined that, but when you're building the project, you need to know where everything is going. And when you're in the process, you need to look at everything. So that's where it's very important to visualize, see what the final place is like, where everything is sitting and how it's going to go. And the way how we do it differently, we would go out and spend a little extra time on our layout. And we actually put our layout, so using masking tape or any kind of marking, we'll put a layout right on the floor. And that will show where the walls are, where the openings are. And that makes it a lot easier in many ways. So we know where our framing is going to be. We can look at everything. Now, there is different technologies and different things you can do, right? BIM is one of them. Like, you can, if you're on a bigger project, that's what you should be using. But there's,
Revit.
Yeah. But there is, I mean, unlimited things you can do without spending too much money or effort and still know what your project's going to look like. And that's very important as a project manager.
Could you tell us about a time where you've learned the most in a project, and where that, like, one moment that you were like, I learned so much from that one project and it changed your career? Tell us that one story.
I don't know if it's like one project that I did. Every project is different, and especially in the beginning, it brings different challenges, and then you always learn something new. I would say, like, obviously,
your favorite one. What was your favorite one? As I'm really curious as well. I want to learn some stuff too from this. This is exciting.
I don't think I have done my favorite project yet. I don't think I've reached there yet. So, like, I don't know. It has to be something crazy. It has to be something amazing.
Guys. Never mind my question.
Sorry, guys. I'm a little difficult on these things. Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm being clearly very honest that I don't think I've reached the dream projects, I'll say. But I've learned every time I learn something from a project, even like some little ones that we do now, there's something to learn. I'll probably get some sort of message or something that we get better on, that I maybe look at it one way, and then the next time we do the same thing, I look at it differently, and then I'm like, but most of our, like standard stuff that we do, if we're just building standard stores like pizza stores and retail stores, some residential construction, like you were involved with, like, carpet and replacing. I mean, nothing exciting is happening over there. So
what was it? What was that best practice that you got in that moment that was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this again and again? This is like,
I think
this is like gold.
It's confidence. I'll tell you what it is. The biggest thing you need is the confidence, is that you need to have a surety. Like, you need to have this commitment to yourself that you're going to make it happen. No matter what happens, this is going to get done. That's what it is. And where did I learn that? I think I learned that in my early stages, and I learned that in school. So when I was going through the civil school, there was a very final project that I always use the example of my strength. There was a very final project that needed to be done. It was quite extensive project, and it's a big project.
What were you building, or what was the project about?
In that project, like, you basically have to apply everything you learned as, in your civil engineering. So as you were to build something, like, now you know everything about construction and building. So put that on paper, pretty much. So it could be different for other people. It could be, they're designing something, designing a house maybe differently. There were groups, and there were groups of 3, and they all chose different things. So what we had in our group, my group actually started with 2 people to begin with, so I only had one partner. And what we chose, and this is something I knew, and because of real estate, so it was actually...
Take your notepads out, guys. Yeah. This is gold here.
And it was actually so exciting at the time, and I didn't know a thing about it at that time. I knew very little, and now I know all about it. So it's just like, now to look back at it is crazy. What it was, so it was a project where we're going to go purchase a property, and it's a single family lot. We convert that lot into a duplex, so 2 homes on a one lot, side by side, a semi-detached home, and then sell the house. So that was the project. So we had to first in the project show how we picked the land. So we picked the land, and then we had to show, okay, these are the things required for the building permit and development permit and zoning rechange. So
this is cool.
Yeah. So I actually have that. This is how I got my job in construction, because I'll just take that as a portfolio and I say, hey, I did this project by myself. So that actually helped me get jobs.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Actually,
I did the project.
You should
and
show
I'm-
me that one day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll have to show you. It was nicely binded. It's like a big, thick book. So yeah, so we had to create that. And what it was, so purchase a piece of land in Calgary, take that land and develop that, and with the city process and the drawings and design that you need. So I actually collected. It's not like I had to produce everything. I could collect pieces. So what the design is going to look like. So I had I already had some real estate clients at that time. So I was able to meet certain people, and then and some people like family friends helped out. And then I got plans, and I got a piece of land, and the perfect land where this will set, and then you can build this house, and this is how much it's going to cost to build. And once you sell it, what are your profits? So this whole thing, it was just like a Bible to do a construction of semi-detached home, pretty much. We should actually sell that. Yeah, pretty much. Whoever wants to get into real estate, buy a single-family lot and convert into semi-detached home, and then sell it for profit. Yeah, call Pircon. So
For sure. We have only 3 left in stock. Call the office.
Yeah. So that was quite fun. And I did that whole project by myself. I didn't have
That's cool.
the 2 partners or even the one. It was just by me.
What?
Yeah. So I did that by myself.
They dropped out of that.
Yeah. Like I had one
Quitters.
to begin with, and then one of them dropped out, and he wanted to not finish that year or something. Yeah. So I won't mention his name because he probably called me tomorrow and is like, "Hey man, what the hell?" So yeah, but I think he did fine after that. It wasn't just the year for him, so that's okay. I completely respected that he's dropping out, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to do it alone. Great. But it was like, I was kind of happy about it too, in a way. I'm like, okay, this is the big challenge that I'm gonna take, and I want to make it happen. So I had
That's cool.
Yeah, I had great instructors. I had great helpers where I learned from, and I would go to like the construction department in the school, and then just ask them like, okay, if you were to build it, what would you use? How 2x4, 2x6, and what kind of trusses? Okay, how can we save costs by using some different trusses? What's in the market? Because I had no idea at that time. All I knew is like structural engineering and civil, and I just knew how to pieces put together. And I obviously knew about real estate because I've been a real estate agent for a very long time. So I was
He was doing real
practicing.
estate while he was at school as well. That's
Yeah.
a huge feat.
Yeah. I've been doing real estate since 2007. So
Yeah.
it's been a very long time in a way. So I knew about real estate. I know, okay, where the properties are. And I knew this happens all the time in the city, where you buy a house, buy a lot that has to be certain size, wide enough, long enough, where you can actually apply for a rezoning if that's what's required, and deep development permit, a building permit, and build your duplex. But I didn't know what are the steps. Like, who do you go to first, and what do you do? So in that project, I learned all about it, and I had to do that whole semester was actually towards that project. So that's how big that project was, pretty much. I did that by myself. I got pretty good marks, and I had to wake up at nights. I had to do so many things, and keep in mind I was still working. So I was still working in conventional real estate and doing some deals like that. So I had work and I had school, and then I got even, and there are a few other courses that we were doing, but that was the major course in that semester. So doing that and then getting the victory in that, I think that was everything for me. I just needed to know that, okay, anything is possible in a way. If I really put my time into it, it's possible. So that really
Inspiring story.
Yeah, that really gave me the boost, and I think that was the biggest, the changer. It's like, what? It's possible. Like, I did that by myself. People are having a hard time with 3 people in a group or 4 people in a group. So that was amazing. And guess what? Like, this is what we do now, right? We're all about construction. We're all about real estate. We got clients that do that stuff. So it was a great breakthrough for me because I learned a lot, and maybe that's how I spread that knowledge, where I can get, where people will trust and know, okay, what I'm talking about.
For sure. Shout out to you guys at Estate. If you're a real estate agent taking civil engineering, this man knows what you're going through, man. Big shout out. Big ups.
Yeah. So that was really good. That was really good. And then, there have been different projects that I've done personally, and I've done projects all over the place. So in BC, Victoria, Vancouver, all the way to the east and Saskatchewan. So all over the place, even in USA. So all that and I'm able to do that because I had that previous confidence, like, oh, I can get stuff done. Okay, great. And now doing those projects on top of that, and they become very hard, especially when you're going out of town doing it, a lot of complicated stuff. Then it gives you even more boost. Then you get even more energy off that. It's like, okay, now we're doing even harder stuff. And now it's not just on paper, making real things happen in real time, right?
The real things.
Yeah, now I'm not just like designing something on the paper to get marks for my instructor. Now I have to do this, finish it, because there's money involved, there's timelines involved, there are real people involved, their business rely on that. So every single project is a victory, it's a learn something from it. But I think that golden project is still yet to come, and that is something I probably give myself really hard time in a way to what I need to learn for that, because I want it to be that big.
Yeah, that's what I like about project management is there's always a new challenge. There's always something new. There's always something new to learn, and there's always the things are different, the environment's different. Maybe there's something different about how you're going to access this or move this and go in through this way, and how are you going to take it out, and how are you going to bring it in, and how are you going to install it. And as I learn about this, that's what I really like about project management. Is even that. And since I work in marketing, I learned that even a marketing post is a project in a small way. I still have to manage different things and post it, and there's still a timeline. Yeah. So
every single thing you do in your life,
a lot of different things in projects.
Like every single thing you're on, it's a project, right?
For sure.
There's a timeline. There's probably some sort of money involved, and there's a quality that's involved, right? So. It's schedule, cost, and quality, right?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So everything, you got to work out, you go to the gym, there's a cost that's involved, okay? And then your health is involved, and and there's timelines that involve, like how long, when you're going to go there, what you're going to get out of it. So everything is a project pretty much.
Yeah. There was a teacher, like he was a university dean. And he was like the dean of project management at U of C. And I had coffee with him, and he told me, he's like, I asked him, hey, what's your best advice for a new project manager, is what I asked him. And he told me, he's like, the best advice I would give you is see everything in your life as a project. See everything as your life as a project, and it would change how you operate.
There you go.
And that was like, whoa, like that was huge. That actually changed like how I did things, and I actually got great results from it, and things got done in great efficient ways. So there was victory there as well. So
yeah. So that's the key part of it. Like you gotta able to see it ahead of time, and then put on a piece of paper, and then when you actually do it, you will find out that you have still missed a lot of steps, and that's okay. This is how you learn. So you'll do it over and over again, and then obviously become better. If you were to, and this is what I would always recommend, if you were to become a project manager, do get some sort of education. So there is many ways to educate yourself. Get a course, LinkedIn, online for free. Yeah. What it really needs, you won't be a successful project manager if you didn't like it. That's the thing. What you really basic thing needed is your own interest. That how much you like it, how much you're wanting to do it, if you like the job. And if you don't know if something you like it or not, this is what I would recommend. If you think you like it, go work for a company. Like, even you have to work for free, I don't know, waiting for work for little, go work for a company, do that stuff for some time, see how it is. They'll obviously put you to task or some project management stuff, maybe a junior project manager, a project coordinator, a junior project coordinator. I mean,
Me right here.
Yeah,
Over here.
do that. Honestly, do it. Put your time. Learn the trade. You'll know if you like it or not. If you do it and something that excites you and you feel like, okay, I don't know and I need to know and this is what I need to know, then, well, that's great. That means you got interest. You're willing to take on the task and you're willing to learn. So maybe then if you want to, you can go back to school. Like, there's so many routes, or you can keep working for the same company and get better and then demand for higher pay. Like, there's so many ways you can do this. All the main thing is required is this something you want to do in your life or not? Is this something you want to do and you would do it happily? That's what matters the most.
Wow, I think project management is one of the top skills someone should know besides sales. Sales, project management, leadership, public speaking. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Sales, very important.
Yeah.
The one after that is project management. It's management, so you can call it project management, company management, operations management, like whatever that is. I'm talking about any business. That's very important. And then, I think then HR, and then your accounting and your hiring and and having firing and all that stuff is very important.
Really? You'd add HR to the top 3 skills that someone should know? HR?
I don't mean HR is very huge. It's very huge. So, I'm taking but it depends what we're talking about. So anything from very basic to the very complex, you need sales, management, and then HR or accounting or the business management part of the company. That's important. So those
okay.
Yeah, those are top 3.
Interesting. I wasn't expecting HR, to be honest. I was like, whoa, that's cool, I guess.
Talent, bringing in talent and letting go of some of it, it's very important, for a company, right? So they need to keep looking for that talent who can come and serve the purpose.
So you'd say HR, so this is a skill anyone should know. Anyone,
no,
so HR.
No. You see, most of people won't know skills for sales and management at the same. It's very hard. It's very hard to be a sales guy and a manager at the same time.
I've seen actually, I don't know. I've seen some good sales managers that can close deals.
Sure, but can they run the project too?
Oh, once it's sold?
Yeah.
Oh, they'd give it to someone strong in that. That's a good point. Okay, he got me there.
So you can't have that. You can't have it all. So and by HR I mean for a smaller company, like for a restaurant, HR is the accounting and the hiring and firing and all that, right? So payrolls and having knowledge of that, how to do taxes, who is going to work and how long they work for and paying them and who's owed and that's important, right?
Yeah.
So that's needed. And but I think a very important part of it is sales, but the most important part of the whole thing is actually the management. If you can close sales, great, but if you can't finish, if you can start something and you can't finish it, well, you're never going to have further sales, right? Almost never. So
someone good at lead gen but can't close, he can have success, but if he could do both, you'll be a rich dude.
Management is the part actually where the whole organization kind of stands on, but financials are important, and then the sales is important. And so as for, like you said, you asked this professor from the University of Calgary, and he said, you need to look in life everything as a project. So same thing I would say, every person needs to look at themselves as a corporation. I don't mean it as a business. Okay, I won't use the terms like a corporation because, but
Corporation.
business, you need to like, okay, you got to have presentation, so you got to have some sales aspect. You got to be able to sell yourself at least, right, as a person. Then you got to have the real skill, what you stand on, which is your management, whether you're a car mechanic and that's your main skill and you need management to be a car mechanic, and whether you are a painter and that's your skill, but you still need to be a good manager, a project manager of your painting, right? So you need that. And then your financials. As a person, you need to know how you are with your financials, because if you don't have that as a skill, and this is like personal skill that you should have it for yourself at least, is that how you're going to manage your life and your finances from day to day and year to year basis.
Yeah. So I say we land the ship. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I
We're
think
kind of 15 minutes over.
yeah, I think we covered, but more broadly about management, project management, construction management. We can go really deep into that, and
So much to cover.
so much. Yeah, so much to cover. Maybe we can do an example. And if you're watching and if you want to learn about project management, do let us know. Send us, a message, comment, and let us know maybe you're doing a deck project or you're doing a basement project and you want to know project management for those. We can discuss that. If not, then we'll find something next week our own, and we can talk about that certain project management. Maybe we can discuss something small, what you can do as a project manager and how you should look at that project.
Yeah. So before we go, I just want to share a little bit about. I had a question maybe for you as well, Adeel. So I noticed on our services we have project management and general contracting as services. So what would it look like as a service if someone needed our project management services?
So a project management is basically we're working as a third party in a way. You're hiring us to be on top of to take care of the project. So we're the project manager, but we're not necessarily general contractor. So we're not directly hiring the laborers and the sub-trades, and we're not purchasing the materials. We're just doing the project management of it. So maybe it's already handled, or maybe it's already taken care by the client, and they have the whole setup, and they're like, okay, we got this project, we got the materials, we have people who can do this, but somebody needs to manage that crew, or even it says sub-trade, somebody needs to manage, when they came in, what they were supposed to do, if they finished it, if they did it on time, if they, what is the quantity that they produced, what is the quality that produced. So every project has a project manager. And then sometimes on a bigger projects or some exclusive projects, an owner can hire their own project manager on top of their general contractor or their sub-trades or their overall project. And it happens all the time in big projects where owner will have their own project manager looking and taking care for the project. Now that project manager could be a third party, like a company like Pircon, or it could be if they're the construction
Consultant.
or it could be their consultant, or it could be their own project managers, their own company and their own employees, right? And big real estate companies do that. They have their own project construction team. Mainly, they will have their project management team. They'll have a general contractor, a prime contractor, or different sub-trades, a whole bunch of them working on a project, and they'll need just a team to look after it, to see the progress of the project, the quality, the quantities that are been put in place, the payments, and all that stuff. So that's what we do under project manager. And then general contracting, we're actually doing the project management in-house, but we're not necessarily doing for the owner. We're doing it for the project because it needs that. But obviously the owner gets it done for free in a way, they're updated on the quality and the quantity and some of the other things about the project.
So there you have it, everyone. Project management is one of the services we provide for the Pircon group. So much here. If you visit our website, pircongroup.com//services, you can see our full list of scopes of work and things that we do: design and engineering, consulting, project management, general contracting, design build, real estate, and our full list of clients down below, and some description as well. So if you're easily, you're kind of curious, maybe you see some of this and you need some help. We also provide other consulting services as well. Not actively promoted, but business and marketing plans, franchise area development, training, marketing, franchise real estate, sales and purchase, lease, design build for franchises.
Yeah, and
these these are other things we provide.
And those services is something that we actually do it to promote the businesses. So we know the people in the industry. So if something that we can't produce it, we can't provide you as a service, we'll definitely get you connected with the right people. Like for your financing, like we're not a bank, we won't finance ourselves, but we know the right people in the industry that can help you with your business, and you can get your financing for your project, whether it's your construction or something that you're purchasing.
Yes, and these are things that can also grow your business. Not one of the major things that we do. Our major thing that we focus on is being a GC and general contracting. So if you are curious, you could go ahead on our website and there's a connect with us. No, actually, that's not the form. There's actually a button on the website. It's along of contact. Hit the contact. You could drop the form, name, email, business. Tell us about yourself. Send, or you can message us on WhatsApp and we'll get a message there as well. So there you have it. And this is sorry, go ahead.
And I think on our website is also, if you go into more, there's the actual form. So once you know what project you're going to be working on or taking over, and if and you need all that service now for the design and construction, this is where you go fill out that form, and someone from our team will get back to you. And we can let you know, we can check a few things in the project that you need to fill out in that application. And then after checking those things, we can get back to you and let you know what we think about the project and what are the things and timelines we'll look at.
Yeah, so reach out to us there. There you have it, everyone. We talked about project management advice today, advice for a new project manager. We spoke about some advice that I got, and we also Adeel shared his experiences in school and how he managed his real estate business and also being a project manager and learning about it at SAIT and how he managed his project that helped him complete his grades. We talked about our experience on the job with project management and so many things we covered. We're going to soon break this down into small reels, and we'll have this on an article at some point. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening. Do you have any last minute words, Adeel, before we go?
Just related to today, what we were talking about, and I know Kevin shows immense interest in project management, and that's what I ask him all the time. Like, do you like construction? And he loves construction, and that's why he's here with Pircon. So it's a very important thing. If I can leave you with one message, is that if construction isn't for you or the project management, don't go for it just because it looks fancy and you think there's a lot of money in it, or you see people doing it or your friend got into it. Don't chase it because of that. Chase it because you love it, because you want to take the headache. You want to take those challenges and overcome that. So do it for that, because it'll be a lot better, a lot nicer and smoother road for you. If you went the other way, it'll become tough. And that's for anything. If you think there are a lot of people getting a real estate license and you just should get it just because of the sake of it, you shouldn't do that. You should understand real estate. You need to understand that you like it. It's something you want to deal with, something you want as a future, as a long term. And this is where then you spend your time, your money, your energy by learning it, by educating yourself, and maybe getting your real estate license, or, and if it's a project management, then getting your civil engineering or project management degree or whatever. So just go based on your interest. See you love it, that's when you want to do it. And if you're that project manager material, then you should definitely do it and get into it as soon as possible.
For sure. So there you have it. Episode, I forgot.
I don't know.
It's,
I think it's
we
the,
forgot
maybe
what
the
episode
9th
it
or
was.
the 10th episode by now. So
Yeah, we're up there. We're actually episode 10. This is episode 10
there
of
you
the
go.
Adeel Pirzada podcast. Thank you for
decade
tuning.
completed.
A decade 10x.
10x right here. Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, for joining in and for your interest. Do give us your feedback, and if you're learning something from it and you're getting benefited one way or the other, do let us know. We would love to bring you with more details and topics about construction, and we want to hear from you. What do you think? And if there is anything you would like us to cover and something maybe we can talk about, do hit the like button and do subscribe our channel. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Awesome. See you all.
Have a good one.
Have a good day. Bye.